This is a reading from the book of John. It's in chapter 10. Jesus has just, he's been in Jerusalem. He's been doing many good works, and they're asking, just tell us if you're the Christ. And he's saying, yes, I've told you, I've shown you. And he says that I am the Father, I and the Father are one. And they get all mad. They don't want to hear it, and they want to stone him. Always goes back to those stones. So he leaves, and he's hanging out where John the Baptist first started baptizing, it says. And he's in the lower Jordan Valley, and the River Jordan, of course, is symbolic for like that last leg of the journey, the Promised Land. And we go into chapter 10, verse 22, and it says that it was winter. And it's kind of like where we are right now. We keep seeing in the headlines a dark winter, and a winter is coming. That you hear this term everywhere now about the winter. And he gets word is sent from Mary and Martha that his beloved is sick. Now Mary and Martha both come from like Miriam, and Mary means rebellious. Martha means provoking. So we have a rebellious and provoking spirit in both characters, although they're different. Mary, getting off course here. So they send for him, and he waits. He waits another whole 2 days. And things are bad, and they're waiting for him, kind of like right now. It's like, you see all this, we've called to you, why haven't you come? What's going on? And he tells his disciples that Lazarus is sleeping. They don't understand at first, and he says he's dead, and that they're going to go back. And they're like, why are you going to go back there? Those people wanted to stone you. Why? So we've got a people that have rejected him, and yet for his beloved, he's going to go back. Lazarus means God has helped, is what that name means. They reside in Bethany, which is close to Jerusalem. Bethany is in the West Bank, I believe, right now. It's Al-Azira, they call it. And Bethany means place of like poverty. It's it's a place that's going through a lot, and it's winter. And Martha sees the Lord, and she goes running out and meets him. Mary, the other, this is where I was like, oh man, that's crazy. That's me. Mary, it says, set still. I'm going to try to find it and read it for a minute. So we're going to go to verse 21. And then Martha said unto Jesus, Lord, so she goes out to meet him. And she says, if you'd been here, my brother had not died. Lord, if you'd come, all this stuff wouldn't be happening. Lord, can't you see all the division, everything falling apart? We're calling on you. If you'd come, none of this, my kids wouldn't be in a mask all day, all this stuff's going on, that illness, these things. And it says, but I know that even now, whatsoever thou wilt ask God, God will give it thee. And Jesus saith unto her, thy brother shall rise again. And Martha said unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day. And Jesus said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet he shall live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Believest thou this? She said unto him, Yea, Lord, I believe that thou art the Christ, the Son of God, which should come into the world. And when she had so said, she went her way, and she went and secretly told Mary, the Lord is here. He's come, and he calleth for thee. And when she heard that, she arose quickly and came into him. Now, many went with Mary. They thought that she was going to go and weep and go to the grave. But when Mary had come where Jesus was and she saw him, she fell down at his feet, humbled. I've been very humbled lately. And she also says, Lord, if thou had been here, my brother had not died. Many times I'm saying this, God, where are you? Where are you? And when Jesus therefore saw her weeping, and the Jews also weeping, which came with her, he groaned in the spirit, and was troubled, and said, Where have ye laid him? And they said unto him, Lord, come and see. And Jesus wept. Then said the Jews, Behold, how he loved him. The Father loves us. And some of them said, Could not this man which opened the eyes of the blind have caused that even this man should not have died? And Jesus, therefore, again groaning in himself, come to the grave. And it was a cave, and a stone lay upon it. It's always the stone, like the guy out in the tombs, walking around naked, all completely base with demons, using stones, cutting himself. The stones, the letters, living by the letter, written in the stones, the stones. It's always about the stones. And he said, Take ye away the stone. Come out of all this bad thinking. Martha, the sister of him that was dead, said to him, Lord, by this time he stinketh. He'd been 4 days. Right now, the world sure smells to me, too. Jesus said unto her, Said I not unto thee, that if thou would believe, thou shouldst see the glory of God? Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead was laid. And Jesus lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me. And I know that thou hearest me always, but because of the people which stand by, I said it, that they may believe that thou hast sent me. And when he had thus spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. God is help. And he that was dead came forth, bound, hand and foot with grave clothes, kind of like us, all bound right now. Jesus says we're dead. He said, let the dead bury the dead until we are born again and we can repent, which means take a look at the things that we've done and don't do them anymore. Try your best, anyhow. And from that, you'll start to build an integrity. You won't be naked. You'll have the dignity of a robe, of armor, the full armor, the helmet of the breastplate of righteousness, the sword of truth, faith. And he that was dead came forth. And Jesus said unto them, Loose him and let him go. His face was bound about with a napkin. Isn't that coincidental? Loose him and let him go. And because of that, and all the people that were following Mary when she went out after sitting still, how many times have we, or at least I have, I've been so frustrated and stubborn, I'm not praying. You put me here. You created me. What right you have? I'm so mad. I would not pray. But then when you hear the voice, Martha came along and said, the Lord is calling for you. I'm trying to tell you right now, the Lord is calling for you. He just wants you to come home and live. Anyhow, after that is when the Jews got really mad. They heard about this miracle. There were many witnesses there. Mary and Martha played a big role. Lazarus, of course, an even bigger role. They wanted to kill Lazarus when they heard this. The Pharisees and the Sadducees, and they're everywhere, these guys, these Pharisees. they don't like when people are awakening and finding themselves. That's a big thing when you start to understand how important you are, and that Jesus calls you brother and sister if you do his Father's commandments, to love, to forgive, to have mercy, compassion, thoughtfulness. These are the kind of things that can change the world. So it wasn't long after that Caiaphas was like, maybe we should have one man die for all the people. And they started setting up the scapegoat, the sacrifice. And he didn't even know he was playing it out. So a bad dude kind of made God's plan all work out. And while we're sitting still like Mary, or whether we're running towards him like Martha and still being accusatory, at least for me, once again, I'm trying not to be bitter. Bitter was in both those names too, by the way. Bitter, rebellious, provoking. I've been inflammatory. I haven't been humble in my spirit. I have not leaned, I've leaned into my own understanding, and I've been trying to change that. And it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. And it starts with a smile at somebody who gives you a dirty look. Maybe just a friendly, open, how are you doing today? Towards somebody who's never nice to you. I have friends now that I met them because they were yelling at me because of my dog or something I wasn't paying attention about. And instead of yelling back because I'd been reading about this stuff, I was like, I'm sorry. Even though I was getting cussed at, I backed down, and it's not like me to do that. We're at 12 minutes. I just thought it was really cool that there was a story in here that says that it was winter, and that they sent word that they needed help, and the son didn't come. He waited. And why did he wait? To show the Father's glory. So there's a plan, and I guess that's the patience of the saints that they talk about, to be patient. And as it all gets harder, to be patient. And for me, I just try not to look at the world so much anymore. Not the world, not the cosmos. That's the Greek word. The world in the Greek, most of the times it says the world, and to come out of the world, it means cosmos, which is like organized, the systems. I know that I'm not going to do anything about I think it's futile. What are we going to do against drones? And it says that too in the Bible. Who could possibly go up against the beast? And now I understand. But there is something that we can do if we could just stop being divided. If somebody's gotten a certain something, and the world's trying to tell you be scared of them, or if somebody didn't get a certain something, the world's telling them to be scared of, it's fear, and fear is not of the Father. And courage. It says that cowards don't inherit the kingdom. We have to have courage, and of course we can't have courage without a little bit of fear. So I don't know if this helped anyone. I mostly do this so there's someone out here that is feeling like you, and you're not alone, and that I have hope. I don't understand why everything has to happen the way it does, but I'm not going to lean on my understanding. I'm gonna keep having faith, and there's love everywhere. Religion, it means bound, to bind, and so I don't call myself religious. I don't even call myself Christian, because that even boxes me. Actually, I say it, but I probably I shouldn't even say that. I'm just somebody that believes. I believe in something bigger than us, and that there's forces out there working against us for sure, especially if you're trying to not be of this world. You're going to have a hard time. But you've got help. I promise. You got help. I love you. Peace, mercy, faith, kindness, forgiveness. Forgive. Forgive yourself. Shame, guilt, that's not of the Father. None of that. Love yourself. Whatever you've done, it says everything is forgiven except for the sin of blasphemy against the Spirit. And what is the Spirit? It's the Spirit of truth. Be able to hear the truth. If your cup is so overfilled with, I know this is that and that is this is, you gotta be humble like a child. I guess that's all. Love you. Bye-bye. Bye.